What's up, everybody? In today's video, we'll be talking about Hasan Piker and the quartering. There are two specific clips that I want to take a look at. And because these are political commentators, I need to do a huge disclaimer. My channel is not a political channel. From time to time, I talk about dumb shit that political commentators do, just like this video, but I don't really take sides. Of course, I have political beliefs, but this is not the channel for that. So if someone does dumb shit, just irrefutable, stupid nonsense, doesn't matter what side of the political aisle they're on, they will be called out on this channel. So I have a feeling that you guys are mature enough to understand that. So with that out of the way, let's get started. And the first clip we'll take a look at is of Hasan Piker. Now, this clip went viral yesterday where it appears that he is using a shock collar to keep his dog in the right place. Let's take a look at the clip and then we will dissect it.
I hate this fucking country so much. You can be on a fucking mountain in the middle of Norway and get better internet than Los Angeles, California. And this is just like a moment of anger. This is a moment of fucking anger for like something that is just so routine, so silly, such a first world problem. But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence. Okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just, you're making her stressed. She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom.
Well, let's break it down frame by frame. It's pretty obvious what happens here. He is talking and then he turns around. He notices that the dog is not where it's supposed to be. And then he looks on his desk. On the next frame, you can see that his arm is extending as he is looking at something on his desk. And then it's extending again a little bit further. Then on the next frame, it extends even further. And on the next frame, the dog barks and immediately the dog goes back to where it's supposed to be. And then he looks at her and says, "Why are you doing this? You're such a baby." Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't know that dogs were supposed to be statues and just sit in one corner until eternity. Dogs are supposed to be able to roam around the house and do whatever they want. They have free will. They're an animal. They're a pet that you're supposed to love. They should do whatever the hell they want as long as they're not destroying the house. So it seems like he was very annoyed that she was moving from the background. Does that mean that she's being used as a prop and then the prop wasn't doing its job, which is staying exactly still and doing nothing? I don't know how long this guy's live streams are. I'm assuming they're pretty long because usual political commentators, they can go on for hours and hours. How the hell is the dog supposed to stay still and not do anything for all that time? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I know some people will defend him. They'll say, no, it's not a shock collar. In my opinion, the evidence is pretty irrefutable. The fact that he extends his arm in that exact same moment, the dog barks and goes exactly back into position. It's too much of a coincidence. It's pretty obvious what happened here. But if you need more evidence that he does possess a shock collar, he did admit to it a little while back.
My old roommate wanted to use a shock collar for fish and his dogs. For fish and his dogs barking. I couldn't do it. I have it still. I bought it. They are incredibly effective. But I couldn't do it.
So at that time, he said he couldn't do it. Maybe he changed his mind. And if there's ever someone that deserves to be on a 15 Minutes of Shame channel, it's someone who abuses their dogs on a live stream because they are not acting like the prop they're supposed to be. Now, if I'm wrong and that's not what happened, feel free to let me know down below with evidence and facts, not just shit you pull out of your asshole, please, if you don't mind. But with that being said, let's move on to the second half of the video, which is about the quartering. So the quartering has 2 channels, and coincidentally enough, he just posted a video on the Hasan and his dog situation. It's called The Quartering and Jeremy Hambley. Now, this guy has been completely torn apart for the last few months by a channel called Kino Casino. Basically, he really overextended when it comes to investing in his channel, The Quartering. He has a bunch of editors, he has a bunch of guests that he pays a large amount of money. And now he's kind of tripping balls because the views are going down. Even though, if you really think about it, I would kill to get views like that because it would be more than enough to support a family if you just get rid of all the extra editors. His content is not high production. When I started watching it, I realized that he was stumbling in his words a lot and didn't bother to do retakes. So it's not like it's a high production value anyways. I don't think he needs editors for that. Long story short, he's been torn apart for the last couple months. But now there's this video that resurfaced, which is incredibly disturbing. Now, granted, this is a very, very old video, and you can see that the guy is in his possibly mid-20s. But that doesn't excuse what he says, because a mentality like that is wrong in 2025. It was wrong in 2020. It would have been wrong in the 1950s. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Now, this video has been buried so deep that it is very hard to find. And the only clip that I have of it is of a channel called Xanderthal, who just reacted to it a few days ago. I tried to find the original video and it is gone from the internet. It is completely buried. Maybe I'm not using the right keywords, but it's very hard to find. Take a look at this clip.
It's more of a public service announcement than anything else. At the office this week, we had a situation where one of the techs came across some pictures on a customer's computer that were of the child pornography variety. I don't really know if there's any tack way to put that. But
yeah, he's straight up with
the
it.
customer was reported and subsequently arrested, I believe, is last that I heard.
So far, that's great news, right? He's saying this is a public service announcement. There's a chomo that got busted. He brought in a computer with illegal material and he got busted. One less chomos off the street. That is fantastic news, right? Now, if the video ended right here, it would not be relevant at all and no one would have blinked twice. But unfortunately for the quarter pounder, what he said next is one of the weirdest takes I have ever seen on the internet.
And is even more serious. However, I've never known a tech in my life that ever took anything other than like videos or music off computers. But the point of this video is just to remind people that, you know, as techs, we read your emails, so to speak. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it happens. So if you have things that you don't want computer techs to see, you know, you should delete them or rename them.
Okay, is it just me or does it sound like he's advising chomos on how to not get caught and to delete the evidence before they bring in their computer? This is what it sounds like to me, but feel free to disagree down below.
You don't want text to look at. You know, maybe change the folder name when you take it in if you can, or, you know, I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's necessarily right. I believe it's an invasion of privacy, but
so just to be clear, he's not saying that he's not condoning the criminal activity that got this chomo arrested. He's saying that he's not condoning tech support going through your computer and finding this illegal material and putting you in jail. Now, some people can analyze this in a different way, but to me, this video comes off so incredibly weird. It sounds like he's giving advice to chomos on how not to get caught when they bring in their computers. Anyways, that's just my opinion on it. This video is extremely sus, and there's a reason why it's buried. I wouldn't want this video out there if I said this nonsense. But thanks for watching. By the way, please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the show. We're almost at 90,000 subscribers. We're just missing a few hundreds. So if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.